I mean, granted, in the finale, we get into all of like who leaks into the media. We already went through this with Lisa Vanderpump. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
I know. This is
is
like,
is Lisa leaking this? I mean, somebody's leaking it. Somebody's leaking it. How did they know that the Bill Aiden had an affair storyline leaked? It wasn't me because I knew that for fucking 5 years and I knew it was on the season. So somebody leaks. I mean, listen, I don't even know if it's not production or you talk about like
thank you.
right? Like, I'm not sure someone on production. I mean, there's 1,000 people on production. There's cameramen, there's this. You mean to tell me someone who's not paid a ton of money can't leak this? Or like, right, producers on purpose, but like an assistant producer is either getting, $200 on the back end, or it is what it is. But, now it's a storyline. But look, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, right? Kyle has come out and said there was no slurs. And, I mean, I think people are like, Kyle, it's about time you spoke up for your sister. But people are more mixed. Like they're more down the middle than I had thought, to be honest with you. It wasn't all like, but I still do think the majority hate Rinna more than they hated Erica. That's my honest opinion.
Well, look, it changes with the tide.
And I think Rinna's now that whole thing when she came out and she's like, Crystal, because they asked Crystal on that episode a few weeks ago, like, whose team are you on? And I thought she was going to say Rinna. She's like, I believe Kathy. And then Rinna came out and she's like, oh, Crystal, please. You saw the breakdown. You put her in the sprinter, blah, blah. I mean, I just think that's Rinna's attempt. First of all, Crystal, you should be thrilled that you're being included in this drama and Lisa Rinna's mentioning you. I mean, yeah, this is good, Crystal, just go with it. And I think, at the same time, Rinna's a genius. She's like, let me try to throw some shit at Crystal to get it off me for a minute. So yeah, I mean, and right, all of a sudden Diana has something to say and she's here to teach us about like how clubs work. And I mean, not really, Diana. If you're Kathy Hilton, you could get whatever you want in a club if you want to
Thank you.
Right. I think the guy didn't recognize Kathy Hilton. He's probably like 20 years old. I mean, we have our 20 somethings, yay, but the average 20 something that is a human being in the world doesn't know a Kathy Hilton from a Kyle Richards. And, she's just an older woman who's requesting Michael Jackson from the 80s. And this is, 2022. So yeah, I think that's why. And I get it. Listen, I mean, people don't say no to Kathy Hilton. It's not an excuse to behave badly. I don't think most people in the world say no to Lisa Rinna either. I think when Lisa Rinna walks and bops into a clothing store or a restaurant, the answer is usually not no to her either. She would throw a fit
absolutely
too.
not. No, that's the beauty of fame. That's why you want to be famous, is because a lot of people do whatever you want and cater to you. I mean, that's why people want to be famous. So
is that why, Sarah? Is that why? Tell us why everybody wants to be famous. Is that why?
Maybe yes. Who I want to get a bunch of yeses, right? God, fuck. I mean, nothing is worse than going into a restaurant in Beverly Hills and they're like, every table's open and they're like, can we see you? Yes, bitch. I'll be famous in 2 years. Hedge your bets. Anyway,
that's all they care about. Speaking of which, EJ's mansion was sold
in Pasadena, way less, 7.5 million, down from the 14 they started at, 10,000 square feet. Look, I mean, of course, EJ, I mean, they're not getting any of the money. This was all taken over by the bankruptcy attorneys, by, Ronald Richards, who's very involved, I guess. I mean, I'm not sure what Ronald is still doing, but
I guess he didn't buy it. At one point, he said he was going to buy it.
Correct. Well, anyway, no, he did not buy it. Somebody else bought it, 7 point something million. And, the money will go to the victims as it should. So there you go.
Give the money to the victims. And I think the discount is probably because, I mean, if I bought that inside, we would have what is known as a tear down. I would tear the whole fucking thing down inside. I like the outside, the old Hollywood, the palm trees. I mean, I ain't living in Pasadena, but besides that, that inside chapel and that dining room, I would literally tear the whole thing down and make it modern. That would just be me.
I think you're right. I mean, they had you think about that house went on the market in the height of the housing market, like almost 2 years ago, and they haven't been able to sell it until now. You also wonder, I don't have any proof of this. It hasn't been out, but you wonder structurally, like, you don't see all the things that are wrong with these mansions in these homes, right?
I mean, yeah.
I got to think there's something else going on with that house that buyers went in and were like, I mean, shit is like being overbid here in the Hampton everywhere. So you're telling me it took a year and a half? I mean, something's wrong with that house, I think.
Well, listen,
Just a guess.
good for the victims. We have a lot going on the West Coast, believe it or not, with Orange County.
A lot. I'm curious what you believe.
Well, what are you talking about Heather and Terry?
Heather and Terry. And I mean, do you believe they really brought Vicky in for a Trace Amigos scene to kind of jumpstart the ratings? I mean, now we're kind of hearing this next season. It's like the filming is boring.
I mean, look, I said in the beginning, I'm not so sure that Tamara, or as a lot of you call her, Tam Rat, could save the OC. I'm really not. Like, look, I think that she is more of a chance to save it more than Heather, even though to me, Heather is a queen and Tamara is the farthest thing from that. I think that she has a chance to, but after, it's like with Heather, after the initial Tamara's back and she confronted Shannon and Emily doesn't like her and she has beef with Heather, like all of that, what is that? 2 episodes? 3 at the most? Like once that happens, we're still left with Orange County. No offense to Orange County. It started the whole thing, but what is happening in Orange County? Look, I feel like Kelly Dodd, I mean, everyone knows I like Kelly, but that doesn't mean I don't hold Kelly's hand to the fire. But it's kind of like Kelly Dodd recently went on a tirade against like Gina Kirschenheiter. And I understand what she was saying, not necessarily against Gina, but she was like, I mean, she also started body shaming her and all that. I don't really support that. But she was like, Gina's house is normal. Like, it's normal. Emily has a normal house. Everybody there has a normal house except Heather Dubrow. Like, so do we really want to watch that? I just watched, Netflix sent it to me early because I had to interview some people from it, Bling Empire. Like I get the screeners before it's out and it's like,
Sure.
That's what I want to see. The money. This one's worth, Mimi Morris is worth $800 million and Christine Chu is rumored to be worth $80 million. And Anna Shea is worth, that's what I want, $600 million. That's what I want to see. And I think a lot of people listening, they want to escape. And so I don't know. So, I mean, I saw the picture. It looks like Vicky was there filming. Could it be resolution of the Trace Amigas storyline? Yeah. Listen, I think it's one of two things. I mean, I either think Vicky is, look, I see it both ways. Part of me is like, how fucking sad, girl. You're showing up for free? You're there for free, like just to. I mean, there are housewives like Dina. You love when I get like nasty, but there is another side to this. But just hear me out, everyone. But it's like Dina Manzo, who says she won't go to Teresa's wedding because they're filming. There are